Hey everybody, this is Kevin from Fort Orange Woodworking, and for the next couple of days it is Prime Day on Amazon. That means that there's going to be lots of good deals on tools and other good woodworking deals. So I have taken the liberty of searching Amazon to see if I could find any good bargains for you and your workshop. Of course, I can't get to all of them, so feel free to leave a note in the comments section. Let me know what you found. Let me know how I did on Prime Day. And without further delay, let's go ahead and check out some of these Prime Day deals. First up, we've got the 90-degree positioning squares from Royars, which is a company that I am not familiar with. However, these are right angle clamps that are used for clamping of frames and other 90-degree square corner projects. They are made out of an aluminum alloy. They are adjustable, as you can see. They clamp right to your two work pieces. And currently they are $39.99, 50% off, and they are much less expensive than other comparable brands. They typically go for $79.99. These are the Royar's 90-degree positioning squares. Next up is the WorkPro folding roller stand. It says it's a folding roller stand, however, it's a two-piece set. It is a portable outfeed table with rollers at the top that you can see there. This is an outfeed setup for your table saw, your miter saw, your planer, any piece of equipment that you have that needs outfeed. This can handle it. It's got a workload capacity of 250 pounds, which should be plenty for most woodworking needs. It comes very highly reviewed at 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it is currently 20% off at $79.98. Normally goes for just under $100. Then we got the Bora 4-piece parallel clamp set. This is a pretty good deal. It is 35% off. It's going for $149 and change for the 4-piece set. The 4-piece set comes with two 24-inch clamps and two 31-inch clamps. And this is a company that is based out of Troy, Michigan. So they're not exactly made in the USA, but at least the company does have American roots. You will probably notice that there are other brands that are better well known for their parallel clamps, but those typically go for about at least $45 per clamp or more. So given the fact that these are $150 for the set of 4, this is a pretty good deal. Next up is an item that I have reviewed before. If you checked out some of my previous videos, I did another must-have tools from Amazon, which is a really good video that's worth checking out. And I included in my must-have list a set of digital calipers. This particular set I do not own, but this is the cheapest one that I found on Amazon. It is made by a company called Adoric, which I'm not too familiar with. They are a Chinese company that specializes in kitchen tools, but at $7.69, this is a steal and a must-have for any woodworker. I use mine all the time. And frankly, I don't think that the brand really seems to matter as long as you compare them for accuracy against your other tools. So for example, once you get your digital calipers, open them up and see what 1 inch looks like compared to your favorite tape measure or another set of calipers or another measuring device that you might have. That's the only thing that really matters. I find that these digital calipers tend to be pretty accurate no matter where they come from. So at 36% off and only $7 and change, this is a really good deal that you probably don't want to pass up if you don't own these already. This is another one that I have already reviewed. This is the Blockcision Setup Blocks set, which is a little funky to say. I've done a full review on this. I got a full video on the Blockcision blocks. I got to say that these have been a pretty significant improvement in my woodworking. They make setup so much easier than before. Perhaps this is probably my favorite deal on all of Prime Day that I found. They are normally $49.95. They're currently $38.90. Maybe that'll change tomorrow on Prime Day official, but that's still a really good deal. Blockcision is the most trusted brand when it comes to this particular tool, and the quality really does stand for itself. These are very useful in setting up router bits, table saw heights, anything that you need an accurate measurement with. This is going to help you with that. This is the 16% that is on sale right now. Like I said, it's going for $38.90, and it is 22% off. And then we got yet another woodworking tool that I have already reviewed. This was also in my previous video of Amazon must-have tools. This is the Kerye hand saw. What's neat about this flush saw is that it is collapsible. It folds up into a neat little stock, and I really honestly believe that every woodworking shop needs a good flush trim saw for the small jobs. This one's got a 5.5-inch blade, and like I said, it folds neatly out of the way for safety. You can hang it anywhere you want nearby on the hole in the saw itself, or you can just stuff it in your pocket or your tool belt, your tool belt. I own this exact one right here. I've used it. I can say that it works really well, and it is only $10.99, normally listed for $25.99. That is an excellent Prime Day deal. So if you do not have a flush trim saw, this is definitely one that I would consider now while you have the chance. After that, we've got this wood organizing lumber rack from Ecotric. This is a 6-tier wood rack for lumber storage or any other storage needs. It is made out of square alloy steel. It's got 6 levels for storage to get wood and other lumber out of the way. Like many of you, I have a small workshop and space is at a premium, but that does not mean that I have to sacrifice on keeping material on hand and in stock. I personally own one of these, and while I don't own the Ecotric brand, honestly, they all seem to be pretty much the same. They're made of square steel construction. They've got PVC parts. Right down to the orange paint, these things are usually very, very similar. However, I did notice that this one gets 4.5 out of 5 stars on Amazon reviews, so it seems to be pretty well trusted by the public. I know I love mine, and at $32.90, this one is an excellent deal, cheaper than I got mine, so I'm a little jealous of Prime Day deals today. This next deal is a bit of a twofer. First up, we have the 3D Pushblock. It is a generic 3D Pushblock. It's kind of a, I don't know, I don't want to call it a ripoff of another design, but they did somehow get away with it. It is very similar to something that you might recognize, which I am going to reference. You may have seen my recent video on push sticks and push stick safety. I talked about my Microjig gripper, which was given to me as a gift because it's not exactly the cheapest accessory in the workshop. This version, like I said, is a bit of a knockoff. It's a plastic 3D push block by a company called Zebekk, who I have never heard of. I couldn't find any information on this company, so I'm assuming they are made in China or somewhere else in Asia, or they have another parent company somewhere. But the good news is that the product itself gets excellent reviews. This push block gets 4.7 out of 5 stars, and for $30.78, that is a steal. However, if you want the real deal, I also found on Prime Day the original Microjig Grr-ripper. This is also a 3D table saw push block. It is completely adjustable. It is the industry standard, and it is very high quality. Like I said, I do own one of these. I love mine. I use it all the time. You can add on to it with lots of accessory pieces, and perhaps best of all, this is a made in the USA company. If you want the best in this category, this really is the only way to go. It's currently listed for $49, which is not as cheap as its knockoff counterpart, but it's normally listed for $64.99, and it is high quality and a very good deal. Next up, we have another multi-purpose item. This is not something that I typically use. In fact, I don't own one yet. However, I have been thinking of, I have lots of scenarios where this thing would have come in handy, and I think I am very tempted to purchase one of these. This is a 3D multi-angle carpenter square, and honestly, there are a whole bunch of these on sale right now, and they all seem to float around the same price point. They all seem to be pretty much made of the same stuff, but I did look for a made in the USA company as a tiebreaker, and I just couldn't find one. So the one that I am showing here, I'm showing two of them actually. The red one that I'm showing here is on sale for $29.99. It's normally listed at $40. It gets very high reviews. And then just for comparison, I am showing you one that is similar, that has maybe some more features to it. Honestly, it's just a different color. I think that's the biggest difference to it. It also has a lot of these scribe line points that you can use, but they're all handy for a couple of things. They're handy for, number one, using as a regular carpenter square. It's also good for making quick angle marks, which is what those larger circle holes are for, and the smaller circle holes on the blue one you can use to make scribe lines. And it has the overhang so that it can stay flush with your workpiece on the side as well as the front, which can come in handy in a variety of situations. Like I said, these come in a variety of price points, and they range anywhere between $11 from a cheap model to the $29.99 version that I just showed you. The good news is that they all get 4-star plus reviews, so definitely worth taking a chance. Then next up, we get a review that I have a good feeling is going to be well received by some and is going to get me into a lot of hot water with others. I did it. I went ahead and I picked a Dewalt tool set for my Amazon Prime Day reviews. However, hear me out. There are some good deals on Prime Day for power tools, but honestly, there are not many. Maybe they'll throw a couple of surprises at us tomorrow when sales become official, but for the meantime, before you yell at me for picking the Dewalt brand, just know that I do own a few of the Dewalt tools, but I am not exactly a black and yellow guy. However, Dewalt is an industry standard, like it or not, and this kit does get excellent reviews from over 50,000 people who have bought the product. So how wrong can they really be? And I know that there are lots of people out there that hate the black and yellow, but the numbers do speak for themselves. Now, every workshop needs a good drill and impact driver set, and this one packs the power of 20 volts. It comes with 2 batteries, and it is backed by the brand name of DeWalt. So go ahead and let me have it, but at $139 and 42% off, this is a great deal no matter how you look at it. My personal opinion when it comes to battery-powered power tools, pick a brand that you like and stock up on batteries. I'm personally a Porter Cable guy. I own about 8 or so of their battery-powered tools. I really like them. I have just as many batteries, and I think that's the most important thing, is that I have plenty of batteries to last, and I can interchange them with all of my tools. You're always going to need them, and I think that that is the most important part. But if you want to go black and yellow, this DeWalt 20-volt max kit is only $139, and it is 42% off. This next item is not exactly a woodworking tool, but it's something that every woodworking shop is probably going to need. This here is a power strip tower surge protector. It is made by the company Jackyled, who I have never heard of. But my workspace is basically a connected island of tools, so I really like the idea of having a rotating power supply. I currently have a lead cord that hangs over my head. It's retractable. It's heavy duty. I do like it, but this thing just stuck out to me and seemed really neat. So, some of the features that this has, it has 12 surge protected outlets. It's got 6 USB ports and 2 USB Type-C ports, which are the smaller of the 2 ports that you see there on the image. It's currently 37% off. It is only $25.88, which makes it the most likely new item that I'm going to buy this Prime Day. I think this thing's really cool. The cord is 6.5 feet, so that makes it kind of ideal for a workshop space. It can feed into your lead and sit right there in the center of your work spot. Now, it turns out that Jackyled is primarily a lighting company, and they are based out of California, right here in the USA. That is, of course, if you consider California part of the USA. Joking aside, let's get to our final review. Last but not least, we have the Metabo HPT Compound Miter Saw. This is a 10-inch miter saw with a 15-amp motor. And as you may know, Metabo are basically Hitachi tools under a new name. They weren't exactly bought out, but there was a complicated merger scenario between various holding companies, including Hitachi and German-owned Metabo, which has existed for decades. But in the end, they decided to keep the Metabo name, even though the Hitachi name was more brand recognizable. A lot of people have gotten used to Metabo, but like I said, they're not Hitachi, and that's not the name that people typically recognize. Either way, this is a good deal at only $119 for a complete miter saw, and it even beats the prices of lower quality competitors like Craftsman and Chicago Electric, which is the brand that's carried by Harbor Freight. Those go for even more. So listed at $159, this would be a good deal, but it's on sale for $119. Now, honestly, most woodworkers don't need a fancy double bevel sliding compound miter saw. It's not necessary. In fact, I find myself using my table saw for more and more cuts that I used to complete on my miter saw, since I can pretty much just build my own jigs and get more accurate cuts with the table saw anyway. With that being said, I think it might be soon to retire my monster 12-inch miter saw. That thing is unbelievably loud, and it's very big, and when I do retire that, I think that I'm gonna go with this exact model right here. So I am giving a pre-recommendation on a 10-inch miter saw that I'm gonna buy myself. It's just a matter, it's not a matter of if. This one is definitely a matter of when. Now, in fairness, this saw is often on sale on Amazon. However, it is very rarely this low. So although it's often on sale, it rarely goes this low at $119. And I think that this is a great deal, if not the best deal, on a well-received piece of equipment this Prime Day. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this Prime Day review. Remember that there are lots of deals out there in the next couple of days, so get out there and find some good tools. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and let me know what great Prime Day deals you find yourself. I would love to hear from you in the comments section. Tell me what you disagree with, especially the Dewalt stuff, maybe the California stuff. Tell me what you agree with, and let me know what you find out there on Prime Day this year. Until then, take care, everyone, and I will see you next time in the shop.